how do you then change the way we manage performance or we monitor performance? I mean, I know you guys mentioned about changing the way performance management works in today's environment. What are the tweaks that you can bring to the table? Some recommendations on that side.
I can quickly add, I think most organizations, or at least progressive organizations, have done this even pre-pandemic. So one of the organizations I worked for, Western Union, back in 2017, we did this to get rid of the performance ratings, the action ratings, and move to quarterly conversations, which are more forward focused. So you talk about, hey, let's talk about two goals. One performance goal for next quarter and one your aspiration from a career perspective. And therefore, the manager needs to take a very coach kind of a view to the conversation. So kind of getting rid of ratings and making it more future focused, which obviously means you need to do a complete overhaul of your reward system behind the scenes. But I think we need to kind of build on that and have even more, build on that as we go. But I think that would be a good foundation to make it more forward focused, aligned to their aspirations, so on and so forth.
Yeah. Siddharth, any views from your end?
Yeah, like I said, I'll say the same thing again. Companies, if they are evolving, they need to look at beyond goal setting and the year-end discussions. Talking about the concept of career aspirations, right? Not just in a verbal discussion, but integrating or enhancing their performance management tool by strict. And the manager writes something on the career aspiration side, and the employee also puts it. You can involve it to a level where you ask, where do you want to move? Let's say you break it up. Initially 1 to 2 years, where do you see yourself? Then 2 to 4 years, where do you see yourself? Document it, periodically review it through the check-in sessions, and then taking it a little further, you at the end ask whether you're okay for a role, yes, no, and then ask him or her to take that opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. Kirti, any thoughts from your side?
I think just probably a sensitization of managers to say, as the world of work has changed, how do you evaluate?
Yeah.
How do you not be unfair? And I mentioned this whole thing about, will you have a visibility bias, that the guy you see is the guy you rate higher, and the guy you don't see, just keeps doing his work like a nice little worker bee, but you just don't give them credit for that. And probably focus a little more on how growth has happened for the individuals. Because remember, we're very used to seeing people, and we're very used to this touchy-feely kind of management. Now it's not touchy-feely anymore. I think most companies are going to be hybrid. That's what it's seeming clear to me, that you can't justify the 3-hour commute anymore. You can't justify going to office to work on emails anymore. So, why? So how do you measure this? But everybody needs to understand that this has changed. So while what Siddhartha and Anil are saying are important from an implementation point of view, who's going to implement it and with what thought process? So probably some training, a lot of training has to happen. Coaching, I think, Anil, I think that was a better word. That coaching has to happen. Say, how are you thinking about how you're measuring people?